In the third grade, I was introduced to a true story that captivated my imagination and my desire for justice. In fact, I read it each year to my students for the 23 years I served as a classroom teacher. The book's villain did or sanctioned a series of terrible things for purportedly noble reasons. Sadly, one of the characters in the book, the protagonist's best friend, continued on a path of choices which only made his personal situation worse. His choices ultimately cost him his life. The main protagonist in the story kept a level head. He held a high moral ground, and after 14 years of enduring hardship and toil, was ultimately victorious. The most captivating stories written have a clear hero and villain. Life on Earth is often topsy-turvy. Heroes are far from perfect, and anyone can become a villain. Some flawed biblical heroes are individuals like Adam, Noah, Abraham, Samson, David, and the list can go on. And some biblical heroes like King Saul become villains. However, the Bible clearly defines those who overcome as heroes and those who are not as villains, and this is done by a set of moral standards that every one of us must be judged by. The Bible is the greatest story ever told. It is actually a series of stories detailing various battles in a great war known as the Great Controversy. This battle encompasses the entire world and was waged just prior to mankind's creation. And like all good epics, the Bible tells of two main characters, Christ and Satan, the hero and the villain. Before God created man, he created the universe in which some of the main residents were called the angelic host. These beings were God's direct ministering messengers to the rest of his dominion and realm. Like everything God makes, these beings were absolutely perfect. The two angels that stood in closest connection to God were called the covering cherubs. Lucifer, meaning the light bearer, and Gabriel, which means God is my man, were those cherubs. Lucifer was made the most extraordinary of all the angels. Just as plans for the creation of man came to fruition, Lucifer grew jealous of God the Son and coveted his position. In Isaiah 14, verses 12 to 14, God gives us a glimpse into Lucifer's inner struggle. We read, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." When God confronted Lucifer about his growing jealousy of God the Son, the Bible tells us in Revelation 12, 7 to 9, "And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceives the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." When Lucifer lost the war in heaven, God changed his name to Satan, which means the liar and adversary. Now God had to permit his newest creature, man, to make a choice of allegiance. Would man choose their father and creator, or would they choose the liar and adversary? Sadly, nearly 6,000 years ago, our first parents chose poorly. They believed Satan. The great controversy between God and Satan now enveloped all of humanity. The fact is, we chose the knowledge of good and evil back in the Garden of Eden. While physical battles do take place on earth, the great controversy is actually a war of ideology. In Ephesians 6:12, the Apostle Paul warns us, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." The great controversy is a spiritual battle, a conflict over God's character and his ultimate right to rule the universe. The Bible is the quintessential tome, and like all good epic stories, truth lives and triumphs. At the onset of the great controversy, God told Satan, "Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations. They shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit. I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee. I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all of them that behold thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shalt thou be any more." God has told Satan that he will surely be executed for his crime of high treason. Good will overcome evil. The great controversy will then be ended. Sin and sinners will be no more. The entire universe will be clean. One pulse of harmony and gladness will beat through the vast creation. From God, who has created everything, will flow life and light and gladness to his entire realm of unfathomable space. All the universe will be clean, and again will declare that God is love. I believe the biblical narrative that I am part of a great epic battle known as the Great Controversy. Do you believe?
This has been a special presentation of Harvest with your host, Dr. Michael John Kuchenmaster. Thanks for watching. You may watch Harvest two ways. On YouTube, be sure to subscribe at Harvest Ministries, or on Facebook through Dr. Kuchenmaster's page. Be sure to like, comment, and share. See you next time.